Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today is Saturday, August 15th, 2020, and in 2 days we will be seeing the first night of the Democratic National Convention. I didn't breathe in between those sentences. So looking at the schedule, I've pretty much taken notes on all of the speakers that are expected to speak at the DNC in the next couple of days, and there are a number of top names, a number of people that are going to boost Vice President Biden's chances at the presidency. So the DNC this year is coming before the RNC. The RNC is going to be held around a week later, and neither of which are going to be held in person. At the RNC, they made a deal with the state of North Carolina, and they will be in the state of North Carolina doing official delegate reporting, but President Trump will be doing an event from the White House, and there will be some top GOP officials, but nowhere near the crowd size that we saw in 2016 for the Democrats and the Republicans. But we have a lot of things to look at on this schedule, and a number of names that are actually pretty surprising to see on this list. Some Republicans, some previous Republicans, a number of Democrats, obviously, and a number of progressive wing Democrats that I think will offer some solace to the progressive part of the Democratic Party. There are a number of people here that Joe Biden owes a very great debt to for the primary. Jim Clyburn, most notably from South Carolina, his endorsement completely rewrote the trajectory of the 2020 Democratic primary in favor of Joe Biden. So it's very easy to see why he has a speaking position. On top of that, he'd be great for turning out voters, but obviously that was a given right after South Carolina. But looking at the number of names, I've taken notes on all of them, and I've pretty much given a reason as to why some of these top names are speaking. I didn't do everyone. I honestly don't think that all of these names are too considerable. Obviously, these are very, very talented politicians on the Democratic side, but we're focusing on the main senators, representatives, and the main speakers that are really going to drive up turnout and do very good for the Biden campaign. So we'll start off with day one. Monday, August 17th, 2020. On the first day, it looks like the first speaker is going to be Senator Amy Klobuchar. Now, Klobuchar led Joe Biden to victory in the state of Minnesota, and it was actually a potential vice presidential pick. Now, the thing about Amy Klobuchar is that Democrats really didn't want her. She was actually the only Democratic possible VP choice that reduced Joe Biden's chances at the presidency with the addition of her onto the race. So her speaking at the DNC definitely could be more of a redundant type centrist point of view, but I think, she's a pretty good speaker, pretty good campaigner. I think that would be an okay move for the Democratic Party. Looking at Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, she's from the state of Nevada. She replaced Harry Reid in 2016, but she hasn't been too notable. I know they were talking about considering her, but it really narrowed down to a black woman at the end of the day for vice president, but still pretty notable speaker. Andrew Cuomo and Gretchen Whitmer, I think both are going to be speaking given the COVID-19 responses that they both have had, the popularity ratings in both of their states. Gretchen Whitmer helps out in Michigan. Andrew Cuomo is a very nationally known name now, possibly 2024 candidate, leading in the polls there. So Andrew Cuomo and Gretchen Whitmer, these could be jumps for their presidential election campaign, but also this is going to attest to the, failed leadership, as they would put it, from Donald Trump in the COVID-19 response, and I definitely think they would capitalize on that and what they believe Joe Biden would do differently amidst a global pandemic. Again, like I said, Jim Clyburn, I think, is on this list because he helped out Joe Biden significantly in 2016, in the 2020 Democratic primary, completely turned the tables in favor of Joe Biden. Convention chairman, nothing really important here. I think these are just going through the motions. Senator Doug Jones, I think this is a little bit of a shout out to the Alabama Senate race, making it a little bit more competitive. Doug Jones could possibly be Attorney General. He's one of the only Democrats from a very solid Republican state, joined by John Tester and Joe Manchin, but Doug Jones is from the most conservative state out of them all. So Alabama, Doug Jones, I think he's speaking in a sense to possibly save his reelection bid, but also would resonate very well with voters. He got a lot of support in 2017. Two performances, and then Bernie Sanders, this is a big one, and Michelle Obama. So Bernie Sanders obviously would bridge the gap for those progressive voters that are on edge about supporting Joe Biden. Some of them may not have supported Hillary Clinton. I think the main purpose of this to avoid any type of Green Party vote that could possibly lose the Democrats the election. Bernie Sanders definitely is here to speak on behalf of Joe Biden and encourage a number of progressives who may have supported him that progress is a multi-step thing, that it doesn't come all at once. That's definitely going to be the image and agenda that he's going to be pushing. Michelle Obama will definitely do very well in terms of increasing black turnout, and also she's a very eloquent speaker. Looking at day two, we have the keynote address, the roll call across America. Pretty much they're going to be calling out the presidential delegates. they're not doing it the same way in the past. They're not all in one room. They will all be doing them remotely in all 57 contests that allocated delegates. We have Sally Yates speaking, the former acting U.S. Attorney General, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. I think these people are in here because of the amount of work they've done for the Democratic Party. John Kerry as well, 2004 presidential nominee. AOC is speaking. Unfortunately for her, only 60 seconds. That's been opposed by a number of progressives, but then again, she is a freshman senator, and I understand she's very monumental for the Democratic Party, but then again, you have to realize she did oust one of the top Democrats that was loved by the establishment, so I didn't expect them to even give her a position, much less 60 seconds. We have another representative speaking, then former President Bill Clinton and Dr. Joe Biden. Dr. Joe Biden is obviously Joe Biden's wife. She served as second lady under the Obama administration. Obviously, Bill Clinton is the former president. I think both of these would offer just a return to humanity, a real sense of Joe Biden is a genuine man. I definitely think Joe Biden will be jumping on that. Bill Clinton could offer a more centrist point of view, but overall, both of these people are going to be capitalizing on Joe Biden and how well he served and what he truly cares about for this nation. On Wednesday, August 19th, we have Senator Elizabeth Warren, again, like Bernie Sanders, bridging the gap between progressives and centrists and moving them into the general direction of the Democratic Party. We also have Billie Eilish, one of the most notable musicians that are performing at this event. I think that will definitely be an appeal to the youth if there ever was one from the DNC, but that is a very, very good play, I would say. And that performance is probably going to be amazing. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, obviously first woman Speaker of the House as well. So definitely big for women's issues. Very well-known name. May not be liked too much, but then again, she is the speaker. Might as well let her speak. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, 2016 Democratic nominee. I could see why. She's definitely going to harp on the mistakes that her campaign maybe have made in the past, or more so the mistakes that the American people, I guess, as she would put it, have made in the past in electing Donald Trump, and what can be done differently for the 2020 election. She doesn't offer too much of an advantage for Joe Biden, but allowing her to speak definitely could still revive a lot of the Clinton support that we saw in 2016, because it wasn't all hate. I mean, a lot of people did like her. Governor Tony Evers, he recently got elected in 2019. Michelle Lewin Grisham, she also just got elected from the state of New Mexico. Both of these governors, are doing pretty well with their COVID-19 response. Tony Evers was in a little bit of trouble, but that was during April. But I do think that this is just, again, we're harping on getting governors out to speak. I think that is a very good play, considering that being in an executive position is very similar to a governor position. Having someone who is at a closer relation to states with the COVID-19 response than President Trump, being able to speak on what President Trump is doing wrong, and what they would put out there, I think is definitely going to be an effective form of communication from the Democrats to the American people. So Warren's going to be focused on bridging the progressive vote. Billie Eilish for the youth. Pelosi, more of a centrist type candidate. Hillary Clinton's just saying, hey, I'm back. Tony Evers, Grisham help with, overall comparing Biden to, or whatever he could do right, what Trump is doing wrong, pretty much an attack on President Trump and what the future of the Democratic Party looks like. Gabby Giffords, she's in here because, number one, she definitely is going to mention gun control, and also a shout out to her husband, Mark Kelley, running for the Arizona Senate race. So that's going to be a little bit of a bump. They wouldn't necessarily have Mark Kelley speak, even though he's a pretty notable candidate running. There's plenty of other ones, Cal Cunningham, Steve Bullock. So I think that she's going to shout that race out as well, but also very well-known name nationwide. Senator Kamala Harris, this is actually the night that she gets nominated as vice president, so she's obviously going to be speaking this evening. She's the VP choice, going to be very good, at least very inspirational if she does this correctly. And then former President Barack Obama closing out the night, I think would be a very, very good play, considering that he's approved of nationwide. In the 2016 election, on the day that Donald Trump won, he had a 55% approval rating. So a lot of Americans liked him, and a lot of Americans that were voting for him in the past, the Rust Belt, Iowa, Ohio, Florida, they may be more inclined to vote for Joe Biden if they start to see the direct correlation between Obama and Biden. Because yes, you could draw similarities between him and Clinton, but then again, they were formidable opponents in 2008. Biden didn't, dropped out way before you could say anything too bad about Obama. I know he's made comments in the past, but too bad about Obama. Obviously, he's the VP. So I really think that Obama could definitely help Joe Biden in that sense. And then day 4 is the big day. We have Senator Cory Booker speaking. I definitely think that he's there. He has a very personal relationship with Kamala Harris. He's going to do a lot of good work for the Democratic Party. Pete Buttigieg as well. I definitely think including LGBTQ issues in this DNC is going to be hugely important, especially for the progressive, more left-wing base. I think that's something that they're definitely looking for. And while Pete Buttigieg may not be the best person to convey that, I think that him being able to speak would be pretty, I guess, historic in a sense. Then another performance, Governor Gavin Newsom from California, again, governor of a big state, recently got elected in 2018. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, she actually tested positive for COVID-19. She's the Atlanta mayor, a potential VP choice at that time. Still the mayor, but going to do, I guess, drive up black turnout nationwide. Senator Tammy Baldwin, Senator Tammy Duckworth. This entire region is an area where Hillary Clinton really was crippled in and didn't do too well. Tammy Baldwin's a senator from Wisconsin who was recently reelected by a pretty considerable margin. So she's a pretty popular name in Wisconsin. I think they're really making a play for that. And Tammy Duckworth, they're also supposedly holding this in Milwaukee, but it's virtual. Tammy Duckworth, she's from the state of Illinois. She was also a potential VP choice. Senator Chris Coons is speaking as well. And then they finish it off, actually, surprisingly, with Andrew Yang and Vice President Joe Biden. So Biden obviously is a given. It'd be very weird if he wasn't speaking. But Andrew Yang, I don't think he knew that he was going to speak. I mean, he tweeted out that he was expecting to speak at the DNC. So I think they told him originally he wasn't going to be able to, but it looks like he's on here. One notable absence is Michael Bloomberg. He's no longer on this list. He was supposedly speaking on the final day, but it doesn't look like they have time for him to speak, or they've seen firm opposition to him being able to speak at the DNC. But we will see if there's a surprise speech from Michael Bloomberg. And then on the first day, I forgot to mention this is the day that John Kasich, the former Republican governor of the state of Ohio, is speaking as well. Kasich is a very well-known name amongst the Republican Party, definitely could sway some of those anti-Trump Republicans that are on edge, that didn't vote for Clinton, may have voted for Trump or voted for Johnson, that'd be maybe more likely to vote for Biden just because he's more likable, and they also know a very solid history about him, that they'd be more comfortable with him in the White House. I think Kasich is going to be focusing on getting Trump out, much less saying I'm a Democrat. Looking at Kasich himself, he's still a Republican, still identified Republican, but he is amongst one of the more notable Republicans endorsing Joe Biden, along with Carly Fiorina, and also subtle endorsements from some top Republican officials. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to comment down suggestions below. Subscribe on the left if you haven't already, and check out the Instagram and Twitter. At the bottom left of the screen, there's also a Discord link for you to go ahead and join. On the screen, there's a video you can watch, and then a playlist for my 2020 election videos, pretty much all of them, around 150. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.